Welcome to the Fleet Geeks podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoy the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Fleet Geeks podcast. I thought I'd share with you some tips and habits on how to get things done in less time and more done in less time, which is something we all want to do, right? Transport fleet managers, super busy all the time, racing around, don't know one end of the computer from the other because we're too busy checking emails, responding to calls, getting chased, getting told something's gone wrong, just dealing with all sorts of stuff with our fire extinguishers in our hands and ready to go. Well, I thought I'd give you three top tips to help you get more done in less time. So I think it's really important to ensure that when I give tips, they're actionable, they're easy, they're simple to do. So these are some of the things that work for me. Okay. So the first one is the power of time blocking. So time blocking is really, really important. Instead of working reactively and bouncing around between different tasks and getting different contexts, different things going on all the time, being pulled from pillar to post. If we do this really well, it works really, really well. And multitasking is essentially not what we're talking about here. Power time blocking is making sure that at the beginning of the day, so 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whenever your day starts, you block out a couple of hours and there's a certain task you're going to do in that time. Okay, so one of the things with the transport managers and people that I coach, for example, that they always say I haven't had time for that. How do I do time management skills? That kind of thing. Well, assign a specific task or category of work to a specific block of the day and put those tasks together. So, for example, you're going to use your software system to check all of the outstanding defects and look at tachograph infringements, etc., etc. So, for example, we use the fleet software and we can do all of those things in a certain block. So I will turn my phone off. I will move away from anything that's distracting me, and I'll just focus on getting that done. If I'm behind on it, I'll just focus on getting that one thing done for that period of time. And then when the time runs out, the rest gets done tomorrow. And then I'll move on to the next thing. And then from 10 till 12, I'll block out time for emails. So at that time, I clear my inbox, and I might have only just peeked at my emails maybe once in that time from the day before. But I will then sort my emails out, for example, for a set period of time, which might be half an hour, 45 minutes, and just be really specific about that's when I'm going to do that thing. So making sure that we assign specific tasks or categories of work to a block in the day, and during that day, focus solely on that task. So there's no multitasking. We just need to make sure we stick to that one thing for that time. So this is really useful if we need to get projects done, email comms done, meetings done. We need to specifically set times for them. People will ask you, "Oh, when are you free for a meeting?" If you go, I've got a client who will only meet people at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. and that's it. 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. And that's it. And the rest of the time he's doing his own thing, doing his other work. And if he's full on the 10 or the 2 a.m. appointment, that's it. You got to wait for the next day. And that's a really, really useful way of protecting your time, making sure that you allow yourself time for different things to be done at different times. So there's another benefit of this as well, because one of them is that multitasking ends up making us distracted and we lose time through shifting between different things. The other thing is around decision fatigue and that whole question of what should I do next? It's called a Zeigarnik effect. Which is a nagging feeling of unfinished tasks. So just feeling like you're not on top of stuff, feeling like you're behind. Making sure you're giving stuff a proper place and time makes you realize that you are going to get to everything, you are going to get it done. And it helps make sure that you're reassured. You do also need to block out time. So one of the other things I suggest is blocking out time for your break and also blocking out time for the unexpected tasks. So you might leave them till the end of the day, the stuff that comes up that you're just going to get tidied up before you go home. Or you might set aside the first job of the day to deal with yesterday's unexpected tasks.
Hello, it's Shani from Flagship Partners. We are really proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast. If you need expert advice or training for your fleet business, make Flagship Partners your first choice. We are really excited to announce the launch of our Transport Manager Academy. With expert development for fleet leaders, we offer fully accredited initial Transport Manager CPC training, CPC refresher, and operator license awareness training, as well as mentoring, support, and professional development beyond the qualification. Our vision is to develop elite fleet professionals.
Okay, so that's step one. So step one is around making sure we use time blocking. Okay, and I'm really purposeful on that with emails, for example. And I think that other people get time snatched away. Whenever I ask someone, how quickly do you expect an email to be responded to? I know you'll have productivity type emails where workflow comes through, which you should have a team of people to do. But as a compliance fleet transport manager who's focused on those things, I would expect your emails don't need responding to for like 24 hours, right? So if you have a couple of blocks or even half a day or whatever it may be, but if you have blocks through the day, rather than just waiting for the notification to come up on your computer, just have blocks, maybe 3 blocks through the day, one at the beginning, one at the middle, one at the end. And literally you just only focus on doing your emails at that time to focus on that. So the 2-minute rule, this simple, powerful habit is from David Allen, and here's how it works. If a task is less than 2 minutes to complete, do it straight away. It's that simple. So the power of this habit lies in its ability to prevent from small tasks from piling up and creating mental clutter. So for example, the quick emails are simple decisions of small tasks that can accumulate and become overwhelming. Just get them done. So the more we accumulate, the more cluttered our brains are, the more we struggle to deal with stuff. So 2-minute rule basically helps us ensure that those simple things that we can do very quickly, we just get done. But you need to make sure that you can filter those things out. If it's going to take more than 2 minutes, don't do it. But if it's 2 minutes, just get it done. And this isn't about interrupting the deep work stuff, if that makes sense. This is about making sure that if something comes up and it's 2 minutes, you just get it done. So when I was talking about time blocking before, making sure that we don't have any distractions, this one is around making sure that each task we complete gives us like no stress, a hit of dopamine for getting it done. It motivates us on towards the more significant stuff, which is what we use the time blocking for. And that has a snowball effect overall on productivity. So we use the time blocking for the big stuff, 2-minute tasks for the small stuff to just get that stuff done and out of the way, and doesn't fit into the time blocking elements. That's a second area. And then the final and third tip for me is the daily brain dump. So our brains are great at generating ideas and organizing, prioritizing the ideas. And the daily brain dump needs to come in where 10 to 15 minutes in a day, whether that's at the beginning or at the end of the day, whatever works best for you. But just write down, dump everything out of your mind, tasks, ideas, worries, any random thoughts that you've got, get it all down, paper, digitally, just have a brain dump, literally 15 minutes, make some space, no other tasks, but literally 10 to 15 minutes of a total brain dump of everything that's bothering you. Because what this does is it clears that mental clutter, allowing you to focus better on the more important stuff. It ensures you don't forget important ideas and tasks, and it helps you to identify and prioritize any patterns in your thinking around stuff or any concerns you have, which is important when it comes to compliance and being a transport fleet manager, because those concerns can be little alarm bells. We need to keep our brains clear to see those little alarm bells going off. And once we have the brain dump, we can take a few minutes to organize the output. We can stack some time, like I said before, blocking time out to make sure that we get those things done. And we need to make sure what goes on the to-do list, what goes on straight away, what's going on for stuff in the future, and what can we just forget about. Some of the stuff, just forget about it, scratch it off. We don't need to worry about that and put it out of your brain. But by acknowledging it, you can say that no longer do you need to worry about it. Some of the stuff might be put on like a future to-do list, like, yeah, that's important, but it's not urgent. So see you later. We'll look at that in a month's time or something like that. So you could have a future to-do list, if that makes sense, for the stuff in the future. And then what you can do is every so often on a weekly basis, review your future to-do list. But it's really, really important to make sure that we do what's pressing and we fit it into those different boxes. So important and pressing, let's get it done. Let's put it into one of the blocked pieces of time for tomorrow or later today. If it's important but can be done later or in the future, let's put it onto a future to-do list. Let's not worry about that yet. And particularly that stuff that's clogging your brain up, just get rid of it. Just get it done. Okay. Anyway, I hope all 3 habits work really well. I think they work really well together, and I hope that they work for you. And I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. If you've got any feedback, let me know. What do you do to improve your productivity?
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.